Hi everybody, I just wanted to do a quick video about the different modes you get in Hell Let Loose. We've got Warfare and we've got Offensive, and although they seem similar on the surface of things, they are a little bit different, and they'll give you a different experience. Now, I would highly recommend you following the link in the description below the video to go over to Steam and then download the Ultimate New Player Handbook to Hell Let Loose. This is very, very good indeed. It kind of explains all these things, and you can print it out. You can probably hear the rustle of my one, and it explains a lot of the basics. So, Hell Let Loose. What the hell are Warfare and Offensive game modes? Well, let's bring up a map so you can kind of see. So this is kind of a typical Hell Let Loose map, isn't it? Where one team starts off on the right. In fact, let's go full screen. One team starts off on the left. And when you first spawn in, if it's a new map, a new battle, you'll see there'll be a strong point in the middle somewhere. And so if you're playing Warfare, both teams have then got to try and take that strong point. Now, the way that you take strong point is by being on them, so physically being within the circle, or in Warfare being around them. So this is where I've zoomed in on another map. So let's say we were playing Warfare. When we were coming from the right, we get here. Now, if you're inside the circle of the strong point, that counts more towards winning it. But also in the kind of 4 sectors around it, when you look on your tactical map, it does count there as well. So you don't have to be right inside in Warfare. And then what happens is, you'll say your team captures the strong point, then another strong points will open up, and you'll have a friendly strong point, so your strong point, and the enemy strong point to capture. So then you've got to decide with your squad what you're going to do. Are you going to defend your one, or are you going to go and try and take the enemy one? If you take the enemy one then becomes your friendly strong point, and then another enemy one opens up. So there's always pairs of them in Warfare. Now, this particular map shows you all the different strong points that may be available. However, that changes from game to game. Not all of these will be available. So it'll start off, say for example, and it could be this strong point here will be the neutral one as the game of Warfare starts. So you all battle over that one. Let's say you lose that one, so that then becomes the enemy's strong point, and then your friendly one might be over here. So you've got to start defending that one or retake that one. If they then take that one, then that one becomes the enemy one, and then you've got to defend that one. You've got to take it back. So it's always in pairs. So you've always got that decision between attacking the enemy strong point or defending your own strong point. How do you decide? Well, you talk to your squad. Your squad should be talking to the other squad members and the commander, and then you'll have your instructions on what to do. Now, the other game mode is Offensive, and Offensive is a little bit different. So it takes place on Omaha Beach and one of the other maps as well. And in Offensive game mode, say you'll start off, or Utah Beach, is it? Anyway, one of the beach ones. You'll start off basically with the enemy will have the entire map, and then the attackers coming in on the beach will have to take one strong point. So one strong point will be shown. Now they do have more resources, the attackers, so they can have things like more tanks and more artillery and stuff like that. But they have to take one of those, and the defenders have to defend it. And then what happens then, if the attackers take that, then another strong point opens up, or another 2 strong points open up. But in this game mode, the defenders can't retake the initial strong points. It's always a one-way thing. So you take that one, then maybe you take those 2, and then another 2, and then finally you have to take one of the headquarters at the end. Now, in Warfare, there's a time limit to the match, which is an hour and a half, would you believe it? At which point, at the end of that, if one team owns more of the map than the other, they're the winners, or the game ends when one team captures the headquarters of the opposing team. So these games, they can go on for quite a long time. That's probably my one criticism of Hell Let Loose, is they need to have a faster game mode, because an hour and a half is a long time to play a game. In uninterrupted, you're probably going to have to go off and do something in between that, aren't you? So that's Warfare. In Offensive, the way it works is the attackers have half an hour to capture each sort of strong points or set of strong points. If they do, then the clock ticks over and they get another half an hour. And they can win the game if they take all of the enemy strong points as they move down the map. Now, again, it's not all of these strong points. This map just shows you all the potential strong points there could be. So it could be that one to start off with, then those two, then those two, then that one, then those two, then those two, and then one of the headquarters. So in Offensive, the defenders win if they can just stop the attackers. So if the attackers can't take the strong point in half an hour, they win. The attackers win if they get to the other end of the map. Now, there are, again, I'd highly recommend there's lots of videos out there, and definitely download and have a look at the Beginner's Guidebook, because it also explains things about resources and how the game is balanced by getting different resources. And the resources are things that feed things like the tanks into the game, that feed things like the artillery strikes and the supply drops, and the things like the transport vehicles. That's what feeds them in, because Hell Let Loose also has an entire RTS, a real-time strategy element to it that is really kind of played by the commanders. But as a soldier on the ground, if you're kind of aware of these things, it really helps you kind of understand your role in it. And your role really is to talk to your squad, find out what needs doing, and then do those things, whether that be attacking or defending in warfare mode, or going to a particular place in offense to either defend or to attack. So there we go. Hopefully that's useful. If it has been, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe. I will of course see you again soon.